went out with some friends. I felt very like trapped wind. So I was like, it's just that. And I remember, to this day, my friend feels awful, but she kept taking the mick. She's like, you just need a really big fart. We went out and I was sort of fine, but just uncomfortable. Come back, felt fine, went to sleep. Next day I felt fine. And I think it got to maybe like the Thursday and the same thing happened again. And I was like, this is a weird pain. And my dad was like, it can't be period pains, like there's just something that doesn't feel right.
Hello and welcome to the Thrive Against Cancer podcast, where we give a voice to the cancer community. My name is Toby Freeman, founder and CEO of the Robin Cancer Trust, cancer advocate and your host. Every episode, we will be hosting open and honest conversations with people affected by cancer, whether personally, as a family member, clinician, or charities and organisations. We will be talking to the cancer community about the cancer community and all the things that are important to you. Our guest today was diagnosed just before her 17th birthday with ovarian cancer. She is now nearly 30 and runs a personal training studio. Her aim in life is to help others stay physically and mentally fit. Our guest today is Aimee Martin. Aimee, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Really exciting. Not to put you on the spot, but you are a first-time podcaster,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Thanks for doing the honours. There is no pressure. It's just me and you in a room. No one's listening. It's
Great.
fine. Although you do have your sister here for moral support. So the podcast generally goes in the same way, which is where I just pass over to you to tell us where your experience with cancer began and maybe just before your diagnosis and what life was like for you.
Oh, just before diagnosis. So I would have been doing my GCSEs and just kind of getting to that point where you then go on like study leave. So I think my first, like symptoms were that I was really tired. But I did dance and PE for my GCSEs, so like parents were just like, it's probably just down to that and it's fine. I think there was a lot of like, I was eating but feeling like full after like maybe like 10 minutes of eating, which was not like me. I was obviously burning a lot of energy dancing, going to school and things like that. And we didn't really pick up on it until weirdly we went to Centre Parks with some family friends and we went to the sort of rapids that they have there, like the big sort of swimming pool, and the mum of the family friends, they have two daughters. So she was kind of looking at us all and she was like, it's really weird. Like they have like very different kind of like body shapes because we all did like a lot of like different sport. But what she did notice was that my core looked very different to the others, which is a really like detailed kind of like thing. And we only found this out like maybe like a couple of years after like she was saying to us, and I think she did make a comment and she was just like, oh, it's like mad like how like the different sports that they do, like their bodies are so different. But I think what she could see was that I was very bloated in my like lower half. And then what happened next?
Did you feel bloated? Did you know you were bloated?
You know what? I didn't, because I don't know if I knew really what that felt like either. Like I was 16, so I don't know, I was probably not eating like well balanced, and because when you're 16 you can eat what you want and
so
that metabolism is just absolutely fine. But yeah, so I don't think I noticed it, and then looking back I was like, I was definitely tired. And I think a lot of teachers would sort of always like say like, are you all good? Like you're looking like a bit off colour as well, because I was apparently quite grey in the face.
It's so vague, isn't it?
And incredibly pale as well. And at 16 I dyed my hair so much that I went from like bleach blonde to then really dark. So obviously that just would completely wash you out. So all these things were very like, very vague. And then I think the pain started. I woke up and I think I was supposed to be going out with some friends, and I could barely like roll over in bed, and I was also due on my period as well. So I was like, probably just that. And my dad was like, probably is that. I mean, he's got 2 girls, so he knows kind of like the monthly kind of, and then the one morning I sort of woke up and I was like, I can't move, like I can't roll over without it sort of I just couldn't roll over without it really, really hurting. And I think I tried to like get in the shower and get myself up, and I thought it'll go if it's just period pains, whatever. And I'd always suffered with period pains, so I was just like, it's just not anything that seems out of the ordinary. Went out with some friends. I felt very like trapped wind.
We know the feeling.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So I was like, it's just that. And I remember, I mean, to this day, my friend feels awful, but she kept taking the mick. She's like, you just need a really big fart. And I was like, and I will always like let her know. And we went out, and I was sort of fine, but just uncomfortable. I think we just went up to like London for the day. Come back, felt fine, went to sleep. Next day I felt fine, and I think it got to maybe like the Thursday, and the same thing happened again, and I was like, this is a weird pain. And my dad was like, it can't be period pains, like it's just, there's just something, it doesn't feel right. Took me straight to the doctors to get an emergency doctor's appointment, and the doctor took one look at me, obviously did the whole like, could you be pregnant, and I was like, no. And felt sort of around my stomach, and just took one look at me, and he was like, I want you to go to A&E. And I was like, wow. Okay. Didn't really say a lot. Looking back as well, like I think just hearing other people's stories about sort of like misdiagnosis as well, I couldn't be more grateful that he just said, please go to the hospital.
I honestly, I always expect the story to go, I went to the doctors, I went to the doctors,
But literally took one look at me. I don't know whether maybe he felt like, I mean, because it ended up being I think it was the size of a grapefruit.
So maybe he examined you and felt
and was like, that is not right. And I mean, and you can get like ovarian cysts and things like that. So he was just like, you need to go. And then literally from then, I think maybe I was in hospital for a week. They did an MRI.
I mean, this is all moving very fast.
It was very fast, like, and I mean, it sounds weird to say, but I was incredibly lucky and incredibly spoilt with how quick everything kind of moved, because I do hear stories like about it took 4 years for someone to be diagnosed and things like that. So, then MRI, obviously they could see a mass. I was sent straight to Basingstoke Hospital because I think there was a specialist there. I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember what your first question was.
Well, just leading into this, so far we've gone from needing a fart to, you've gone all the way through to MRIs and
so
that whirlwind of the hospital.
I must have had like CT scan, PET scan, another MRI, and they were like, we think it's like, it could be like an ovarian cyst. It's really common, but obviously once they get to a certain like mass, they might rupture, and it's very painful. I think when I was first at the hospital as well, they thought maybe it could be appendix, which then the MRI scan was like, no, it's not.
Because the doctors do the push test as well, don't they? And I imagine you were in loads of pain. So that might have been.
But then also they did put me on, it was like IV paracetamol, and it went. And I was like, okay, I'm fine. And then they were like, no, you have to stay in. And also what we didn't realise as well is you're not classed as a child when you're 16. So I had to go to the adult ward as well. And the idea of needles, staying in overnight on my own, like obviously my mum said, like, you're gonna have to draw straws to who takes their blood, because good luck to whoever that. And then swiftly got used to that. So I think
they call that exposure therapy.
Yes. I've had a lot of that. So Basingstoke, they said we need to do, and I might get this word wrong, a laparoscopy, which is kind of like keyhole, but They just
Right.
have a little look. I was supposed to only be in there for, I think, like 20 minutes to half an hour. Got put under. And yeah, I don't know how long the operation was, but I think what they said was, obviously, they found the tumour. It was almost like spilling.
Oh, wow.
So they had to, cut me open from just like above my belly button to sort of down there. And then, the next thing I know, I woke up and on a lot of morphine.
Wow.
So I don't actually know how long I was under for. And I think they had to remove my right ovary, took away my appendix, I think, slightly, I think they said a bit of the spleen.
Right.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is because I was like vulnerable during COVID because of that.
Okay, yeah. One of those things just
Yeah.
down the line, it's just like, oh, and you're vulnerable now because of this. Yeah.
And they almost told me, they're like, because we took a part of like, and I was like, oh, I didn't even, totally forgot about that. So I think that was it. And then I think there's like a layer just underneath, like kind of like an apron of fat under your stomach, that they had to take away because there was like slight they could like cells and I think they called them nodules or something.
Like peritoneum.
That's it. Yeah. So they had to take away a bit of that.
Yeah.
Woke up. I think I was in there for like a week recovery. Obviously had to get me up walking and things like that.
I mean, that's a major. So
I
know we sort of jokingly said it, but you've gone from I'm a bit tired.
Yeah, bit of trap wind.
And then it's okay. Doctor says you got to go up to A&E, which is scary anyway. Like if doctor said that to me now, I'd be scared.
My fear was a blood test. I was like, you're not coming near me with that. I don't want a cannula. I don't want anything.
Which is totally rational fear for a young adult.
Yeah.
I'm saying young adult loosely as well. You're 16.
Yeah. So I was like, and I would try and avoid obviously anything like needles and stuff like that. I think that was obviously, I got used to that very quickly.
But you haven't been told have you been told you've got cancer at this point?
No.
This is you're going through the motions of being told you need this, you need this, you need this.
I remember very blurry because also when we went to Basingstoke Hospital, I got my own room.
Right.
So mum and dad were able to stay. I think also there was, because I was in there for a week and I don't know how long it takes to get to Basingstoke from home, but obviously my sister was still at school.
Yeah.
So obviously they were doing sort of shift patterns on who was with me, who wasn't.
Yeah, life doesn't stop around.
No,
stuff,
exactly.
Does it?
Yeah. So one would stay over. And then I think I remember it being my dad that was with me when the like consultant came in and said, look, this is our finding. It is a tumour. We don't know if it's cancerous or what do they call it? Benign?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to send it off for some tests, but tests take about 2 weeks. And I was thinking, nice. Like, okay. And what do we do?
Yeah. What do I do in this bit? So you've had the surgery at this point. They've taken everything out. And
taken everything out.
We now need to find out what this thing was.
So they sent it off for tests. I can't remember where they sent it for tests, but I think it was quite far away because we were very interested in like, obviously how, like what happens next and how they do it.
So at this point, can I just ask, like, are you thinking cancer? Has anyone in the family mentioned it? Or is it just like, this is happening to us?
Yeah, no, I don't. I think from what, I mean, it was such a long time ago as well. And I do think like trauma kind of blurs a bit of that out.
I find this.
Yes, and like, I guess, and I never want to say how I felt because I actually don't really remember. Obviously, I do remember crying because that's, I guess, your natural thing. Dad obviously held it very strong, so I can't even imagine what he was thinking. I don't really remember from the point where the consultant told myself and my dad to then when like mum and Phoebe came into the mix, because I think it was sort of dad's stay. So like, so I don't really remember like any of that. I think, I mean, I was 16. I was like, I'm fit and healthy. I play lots, like I do lots of like physical activity. I mean, I eat like a 16-year-old, but like
So does everyone
I really
else.
didn't. Yeah, and like, and I guess like you think like cancer's like old people.
Yeah, right.
And
Oh,
like
I was going to say, had you ever had cancer in the family, like, or anything like
granddad did
that?
pass away from it when I was 14. Which I then actually went counselling for. So it was very handy to have the counsellor still. Yeah, so I was like,
Got the
we're going to
number.
be spending a lot of time. So yeah, I think I had counselling till about 24. Yeah, and just from like, I guess like your brain then is like rewired to just fight or flight mode. So there was a lot of things that come up. Like we kind of established that, yeah, like I do suffer quite badly from like OCD, but not like the cleaning and things like that. It's like the sort of intrusive thoughts and things like that. So that was, yeah, very helpful to have. Whilst, yeah, but yeah, sorry, back to the, yeah, so granddad was diagnosed, he passed away. And then, yeah, that was really the only ever conversation we'd like properly had.
But it's not in your mind as a 16-year-old, is it? You're not thinking.
No. And I was just like, I mean, ovarian, like, it was just mad. And I mean, we were kind of hoping it was like a cyst. But I don't know whether the size of it was kind of, obviously the doctors maybe were like, this could be, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I can't remember really what hospital it was that gave us diagnosis, but I remember mum, dad, Phoebe being there. And yeah, just like, all a bit of a blur really.
Was it the classic pulled into a room?
Yeah.
Everyone sat there. And
I remember feeling very, very anxious. Yeah, but I mean, they had a plan for me. I went straight to the Royal Marsden and Sutton in the Teenage Cancer Trust unit. Like I had a really good oncologist. Yeah, and they just said, you're going to start chemo basically. I remember, I think it was like it's the 11th or 12th of September that I started. I got to go for like my first week of school of sixth form, and I was like, I am going.
Nice.
Because I have no idea how,
Was that your like, I know I've got this thing, but I want some normality.
I don't know if I'd even really, I mean, obviously I told my closest friends, but like the school knew, the school were amazing. They were like, just come back to school whenever you like want to. If you want work, we'll give you work. If
Did you want work? Take some homework?
Yeah, so I did. I guess like 3 months in, I was sick as a dog, so I was like, no, thank you. But yeah, I would say like, because I had chemo every 3 weeks. The first week, fully wiped out, neutropenic, would catch anything.
Yep.
And then the last week before going back in to chemo again, I would try and get into school.
Right.
So I was only going in for like a few days a month, but it was my social life as well. Because like mum and dad were like my closest friends at the time. And obviously like my friends were all busy getting their A-levels. Like it wasn't, I wasn't on their same like time frame in terms of like, I couldn't text them all day and like, you know, it was, so started chemo, the September. I remember having like a little like early birthday gathering because my birthday was the October.
Right, yeah.
So I remember that being it was just nice to have like all my friends just at home and whatever. But I was like, I'd have no idea like when the next time I'm going to be around like this amount of group of people. Because they explained the neutropenic kind of side of things and the amount of things I kind of caught. I think I caught first round of chemo. I was in like an isolation unit just before my birthday because I caught a hair follicle infection.
Okay, I haven't heard of that.
No. So, I mean, I've got pictures of it, but it was like my head was so painful and it was, I don't know whether it was where my hair was falling out as well, because it was sort of obviously just coming out in clumps, to which the point I was literally just pulling it out because I was like, I am in so much pain. I need something to almost release this weird sort of feeling. But yeah, then looking back at the pictures, there was just like red sort of like blotches sort of like on my head, and yeah, it was really random. So I had to go on like IV antibiotics. And I think I made it out for my birthday.
It's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
though,
I
isn't
was
it?
just
You know,
like,
going
now
through
I'm
enough.
bald.
Yeah.
So then, I can't really remember the next hurdle. Probably weight gain, because I would eat like, I think it was when as well, like onesies were in fashion. So I was a bald head.
Did they go out of fashion?
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. But like I was wearing like a onesie all day. I just looked like a giant baby and like a big baby grown. Yeah, so, and yeah, the steroids that I was on
as well.
So yeah, I think I keep going back and forth. The chemo they gave me, so I think I had every 3 weeks a 72-hour kind of intravenous thing.
That's intense, isn't it?
Yeah, and we chose to do it over weekends, obviously, because Phoebe was at school. So it's easier for me to be in, like from the Friday to the Monday. Sometimes I got to go home on the Sunday evening, which was really nice. Yeah, and I think it was easier. And also, like, friends would come up and sit, even though I was probably like half asleep most of the time. But it was just nice to have them there and things. Yeah, and then I'm trying to think. I had the chemo tablet that you spoke about earlier, but that wasn't until like the 9 cycles of chemo that I had. And then in between, I want to say it was maybe like, so I had chemo September to, I want to say, I don't even know how many months it was. Doesn't matter.
I mean, 9 cycles is a lot though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very disruptive.
Yeah, every 3 weeks. In Friday to Sunday, Monday. And then I had a month of 5 days back to back going up to the Marsden for radiotherapy, which they did offer me to stay for a month. And I was like, I can't do that. I hated going in. Like, I
can imagine.
Yeah, and I feel awful saying it because, I mean, the Royal Marsden Sutton is like, it sounds weird, a beautiful hospital. Like the Teenage Cancer Trust, they've absolutely smashed it. But I didn't move from my bed when I was there. And deep down, I wish I did maybe socialise a bit more as well, because I wouldn't say, like, I made like a lot of like cancer friends as such. And like, I know like my mum would always be like, do you want to go into like the like social room, then pool table or what? And I was like, no, I don't want to. Like, I don't know what it was. I just had nothing in me to like socialise, and food was great.
Good.
Everyone says like hospital food's rubbish, but yeah, I could pick whatever I wanted.
That's good.
Someone would come around
joy
and be
in
like,
your day, isn't it?
What would you want? And I was like, what do I want? To the point where I think sometimes they'd come around with like a whole trolley of like sweets and biscuits and things like that, and Phoebe and my dad would literally just be stocking up. I'm like, I don't want any right
Sounds
now.
Sounds like the Hogwarts Express.
Yeah, literally.
That's what I was just picturing. Yeah.
Literally. So no, I was well and truly spoilt with my hospital experience. And yeah, the nurses were amazing, very like chatty and like just like so knowledgeable as well. Like if they were saying, oh, like this is your chemo, blah blah blah, and like they would just sometimes like even like just chat about like the science behind it and things like that. And it was just like, yeah, it was just something different really, rather than just giving it to you and then just being like, right, you know,
that bit. I think that for young adults especially, again, you know, you're right on the cusp of young adult there, is so important, because you can't treat you the same way as you can treat someone with 50, 60 years life experience, you know. And you started off on an adult ward, didn't you? You said.
So I went from the adult ward, and then I think the the young adults is anything from 16 to 24, which I was like, amazing.
Yeah.
Like even when I finish treatment and I need to go in for like checkups, I'm still going to the same place and nothing changes. My doctors don't change, and like people say hello and things like that. Like, and I recognize faces still. But yeah, so then the month of radio, I was like, I want to stay at home. So luckily I got a disability living allowance from Click Sargent.
Now known as Young Lives versus Cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Didn't know that.
Sorry, they've had a rebrand.
Okay, I didn't know that. So they were
You
incredible.
can tell them old school.
Yeah.
The OGs know them as Click Sergeant. Yeah.
But yeah, so that sort of covered the petrol every day going from and sometimes I wouldn't really be in there any longer than like 20 minutes. Mum would actually sometimes just be like, I'll wait in the car with the dog. Dog used to come for the drive, and then I literally went in, they called me, laid down on that table, zap zap zap, and then I was done, and then I would come back the next day.
Did you have any side effects from that as well? I've heard fatigue can be really bad with radio.
I would say I didn't notice it as much, but I don't know whether that's because I was already tired from chemo, because I then still had to have like the couple of like last cycles and things. So I didn't really notice it that much. Obviously the only thing I guess now I have to be careful with radiotherapy is just being in the sun.
Right.
But like, I mean, I burn to the crisp anyway, so I am very factor 50 like all the time. But yeah, I just have to be very careful, like exposing like my sort of pelvic area in the sun. But yeah, so I don't think there was really many side effects. I think they gave me a lot of I think at the time, I don't know what it's called now, but aqueous cream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They gave me a lot of that just because I think it like dries the skin out. Which I didn't really notice either. I feel like apart from traveling back and forth, I think as far as I can remember, radio was not as bad as chemo. That's as far as I think my brain goes really.
Is there, so during this time you said you're on a different time frame to your friends, something you said earlier, and I thought that's really interesting, isn't it? Because it's a cancer diagnosis is so all consuming anyway. You talked about how disruptive it is for your parents. You're doing your cycles at the weekend, so they can, I imagine part of that conversation so they can work. And then, do school runs and life carries on.
More school runs. Dad's self-employed. So he did take a few months off. I'd probably say maybe like 3 months off, and then slowly.
Yeah.
I mean, and his customers were very understanding, like, can't do that this week. So like he would then take on like little jobs. But yeah, literally me and mum at home, day in, day out. And then, straight to the hospital on a Friday morning. To get up there as quick as possible, really. And then, obviously, school run for Phoebes and just making sure, obviously, she's okay as well, because it's a lot.
Well, it is a lot. But you're also really isolated at a really pivotal time. 16, I'm trying to think back to when I was 16, but it's all your friends and school or college is just so all consuming, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've been plucked out, not only plucked out, which would be hard enough, but like, oh, here's this major life thing that's happening to you. Deal with this.
Yeah.
Your mortality, like, just look at that in the eye and then go through loads of grueling
and I think
chemo.
As well, for like my friends, like I'd be like, oh, any updates on your life? And like, I think they'd almost be worried to tell me anything that's like, even if they were like struggling a little bit, I don't know, boyfriend's annoying them or something, I'd be like, tell me.
But that is what life is when you're 16.
I am still like, I want to know. I was like, it makes me feel more normal. And I don't know whether I ever had like actual conversations with them. I remember having like a few conversations with mum and dad, like, oh, like I feel like they don't feel like they can tell me these things, or like even like good things that are happening to them. Which I was like, I want to know, because like it's not, we're friends at the end of the day, like so no, that was difficult. And I guess just a lot of them did help me with like coursework and stuff, because I guess as well, like coming out of school, and I wasn't the most academic, but coming out of school even for like a month, I was like, I don't even know if I can write. Like, that is not like something I've done for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think like the social side of things, I tried to go in as much as I could just before I was about to go back into chemo, because that was usually my week where I felt the most energetic. And even if I just went in for the afternoon, or like just like the morning, and all the teachers knew. I think a lot of the teachers had to go on a course as well, because I had a Hickman line,
Okay, yeah.
which I don't even know if they like, haven't heard anyone since have one. Everyone has a pick line. But yeah, so I had one of those. So I think that a couple of the teachers that would have been teaching me if I was in had to go on a course just in case that came out. Which I
Probably
was
not
like,
what teachers expecting
no,
to
and
do
I
with
was like, I don't want that to come out either, because it makes me feel ill that it's like
Yeah.
a sort of tube
Yes.
attached to my side.
It's not what you want to hear, is
No,
it?
and I was like, I mean, that's amazing that the school have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, they were very good, and they wrote me a really good reference, and I got to uni, and I think my biggest worry was I'm not going to be left behind. I was like, there is no way, like,
Life is moving so fast in those years, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you finish school, you're doing your AS levels, as they were then.
Yeah,
A
so
levels.
I ended up just getting my AS levels, not A2. I think that's, which I did all my PE coursework. I did my photography coursework. And then dance, because of my Hickman line, I couldn't dance in like the first year, but they let me do my first year of sixth form dance A level in my second.
Okay, yeah.
And then
They sound amazingly accommodating.
they were, and actually, because I was going to I had two options. I was going to go to sixth form, or I was going to go to dance college. Wouldn't have been able to do anything. And also they don't know me either. Like,
Yes.
I just don't feel like they would have been like as accommodating. Whereas,
But they're the things that make all the difference, right?
Yeah.
Because, a school could probably shy away from some of the health and safety stuff and maybe wouldn't be as accommodating.
and I have heard stories as well, like where people people just haven't been as accommodating. And maybe it's a scary thing, obviously, to be responsible for.
But has a major impact. Your teachers saying yes to training that allowed you to come into class
exactly.
means the world to you at that point.
And my mum would have countless like conversations with the reception lady, because she would be kind of on call if anyone come in and there was like an infection or anything, or an outbreak. I mean, I was in like the school letters going to home, if you have.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
Yeah, no,
any sort
really
of infections,
embarrassing. And I was like, oh my god, because I think our librarian got the shingles, and I caught the shingles off her.
Oh no,
I know.
Poor you, of course.
But
I
also,
imagine
like,
the poor librarian.
Yeah. So it was just, it was a real, like, it takes a village, I guess. Like, it's, like I said, friends would help me catch up on coursework, and just help me through it, really.
I don't think I've actually asked what your official diagnosis was, by the way. Sorry. I just realised that.
So it was ovarian cancer. The name of it is rhabdomyosarcoma with Sotolia Leydig.
That seems ingrained in your brain, but sounds like an absolute tongue twister.
Yeah, because apparently it's incredibly rare.
Right.
I don't know. I can't remember how. But I don't know whether it's because I think my understanding of it was the tumour was attached to my ovary, but also like the muscle wall.
Right.
And that's all I've got.
It's good enough for us.
Yeah, and obviously I don't want to Google it, because God knows what will come up on that.
I was going to say, did you do some Googling?
Because
Just doing Googling.
Survival rates, all of that. And I think obviously because I was on steroids so much as well, that affects your sleep. So I'd sleep all through the day and then be up at night and be like, right, what do I do? Obviously Google everything and just terrify myself. So, and I don't know what like stage I was either, or whether I can't remember. I can't remember how it works, but I never got like a stage.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And I don't know whether that's because of like my age or like that's how they deliver it to you.
Or maybe the treatment plan was the same no matter, and they just like,
Yeah.
that information is not useful to you.
Yeah,
perhaps.
exactly. So yeah.
So you had months and months of chemo,
Yeah.
radio. We haven't really talked about how you felt. You had mental health support, you said, during this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you've been told you've got cancer. That is really scary at that age. Did you have conversations with your family about what that meant to you? Like, sounds like a weird phrasing. What that meant to you? But how that
I don't think so. And not because like we're not open like that. I just think.
Are you just doing?
You just got on with it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there was like, I do remember like the first time I come back from chemo, maybe the second time, there was a lot of like, I don't want to do this again. Like, it's like I have nothing in me. But I think that happened sort of then every time I would come back from chemo because you just get into such a depressed kind of stage for a good, like, I would say maybe 4 days, and then I'd come out of it, and then you'd be neutropenic, so you can't go anywhere. And then I could go back to school for a few days, and then you got to start, like, it's all over again.
Honestly, I can resonate with that because that's what happened to my brother.
Yeah.
I saw these dips,
It's a mad,
and the neutropenia.
mad mental roller coaster.
What helped you come out of those? Was it just natural, like it dipped and then you felt yourself lifting a little bit? Or, and as that cycle continues, like, do you recognise I was going to say,
it get easier, yeah, because I feel like...
the dark days are going to go away a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, like, your body does get used to it because I probably only my first 3 sessions of, like, the big chemo, I was sick because that was another fear. I have a fear of being sick. I don't like that.
So sick, blood, needles.
Yeah, I was just like, it's a real journey I'm about to go on.
Yep.
But yeah, and I remember the first chemo I had, I was like, oh, I feel fine. I could definitely eat a sandwich right now. Ate a sandwich, like an hour later, saw it again. I was like, excellent. I was like, okay, no more cheese sandwiches. And then throughout the night, it was obviously constant. But then they give you anti-sickness as well. Yeah. So obviously that, you have to figure out which one kind of works best for you. So I would have that at home as well. Because a lot of the tablets, like, you're taking so many tablets. And if your stomach's not lined properly, because you have to take them on an empty stomach, like, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. And you don't want to throw any up as well.
Exactly. And that a few times, like, did happen. And I was like, do I need to take them again? Like, what? Like, it was very confusing. And I mean, I couldn't count how many sort of tablets and, like, medication that I had. And there was this one that just tasted horrible. It was like a liquid one. And I can't really remember what it was for, but just every week I had to, like, take it, like, on 2 consecutive days, like 3 times a day. And that was it. And it tasted awful, which I just had to sit there and chug it back.
That baffles me now. I feel like we are technologically advanced enough for medicine not to taste like crap.
Some people might like licorice, but I did not like licorice, and that's exactly what it tasted like. And I had to, like, knock it back with milk just to, like,
take the edge off.
Yeah.
But that's like doing a Sambuca shot.
Well, exactly. I don't like Sambuca shots either now. Just the smell of it, I'm like, oh my God, PTSD. Yeah. For all the wrong reasons. But yeah. So no, I think going back to your question with conversation with the family, I don't really know obviously what went on with, like, I guess, like, mum, dad and my sister, because maybe they had a lot more conversations that I, like, didn't, like, know about, or
I can imagine they're not wanting to bring anything to you.
Yeah, I guess, like, physically I've got to just get through it. Mentally we can deal with that later. But yeah, I did go back to counselling because I did have a break, and then I went back to counselling, and obviously it was just a lot of, like, just talking about what I'm doing now, what I want from life after this and stuff like that. And I think with the schoolwork as well, she was like, you need to slow down. She was like, you need to, I know you want to, you don't want to miss out. And, like, even just going back to, like, my dance classes, like physically and mentally. Well, mentally, I was like, I just need to move. Like, I need those endorphins. I need to do something that reminds me of like myself before. And that's another, like, you grieve like your old self. I was like, my body is so different. Like, my brain just doesn't like work the same way. It's a weird feeling. But when I was, counselling, we sort of worked a lot on, obviously I have to work on what's going on now and not worrying about like friends going to uni and you being left behind, because like it's a FOMO thing, I guess.
Of course it is.
It's like, I was like, I don't want to be left behind. Like, it's, I think maybe I pushed myself sometimes a bit too much.
But that's a double injustice, isn't it? That's how I've had cancer, I've had chemo, I've stopped, and then my friends are moving on. That's another double injustice.
And I think,
on top
like,
of that.
my dad would always say, like, you have to imagine that, like, each time you have chemo, it's stripping your whole body from your immune system. So the thing that's going to keep you, like, fighting any infection. But, like, I was like, but Dad, I've got to get back down to my, like, weight that I was. So, like, I feel disgusting. Like, I think overall I put on about, I think when they weighed me, like, first ever at the hospital appointment, I was about 45 kilos. And I think I put on anything up to like 65. So that was a lot of weight and very different. I just felt very different in my body as well. And I was just like, I need to get back down to this. I need to get back to dance. Like, I need to then make it to uni. Like, I just had this, I was like, I'm not even thinking about what's going on. I'll just do chemo. And then I'll come back.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I don't know what that was.
But that is what being like that age is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're moving along in that tide with your friends and you're all going towards the same thing.
Yeah.
But yours, you've gone, using a weird analogy here, we're in a river, you've gone down a little nook and cranny that's taken your future away from you. So I can imagine that FOMO, that grief of that future. And not only the grief of yours, you're seeing your friends do it.
Yes.
Which is
and there was
really
a lot
difficult.
of maybe not jealousy, but like I was so envious. Like, I was like, I want to go out to parties, and I would get invited to parties. I'd put an outfit on and then my wig, and I'd be like, no, this is not, and then I would say, sorry, I don't feel very well. And like, at first I feel like that was a bit of a comfort because I could hide behind that, and that was like my I guess like my introvert side of me, where I was like, if I don't want to, I don't have to. I can just play the cancer card.
You do have the cancer card.
We
you can
do,
play it.
exactly. And then I'd be like, oh, but okay, I missed out on that, and I missed out on that, and then I'd regret it, and it'd just be like a bit of a pattern where I'd be like, nope, you're gonna go, and I'd be like, no, because like, what if my wig comes off, and what if, I think thinking about it as well, like if I ever had to do it again, like touch wood, I wouldn't even look into getting a wig. It was so uncomfortable. I mean, I was 16, so
yeah, definitely. The thing is now you've got all of this life experience. No one has any life experience at 16.
Exactly. So I think like the wig was just so uncomfortable, especially in the summer. And I think like, and I guess that's how obviously you just grow up and you realise what is, like, comfort is key.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be back in the onesie in a moment. This is great. But there's a lot to unpack there, isn't there?
Yes.
It's a very different experience for it happening, and that's basically it, isn't it? When no one ever wants a cancer experience, but when you've got life behind you, you've got experience to navigate that with. At 16, you have no experience to navigate that with, which is, there's just, life is happening and it should always be going that way, but it stops.
And I think, like, I always say, like, there are so many traits that I have now that I'm grateful for because of that experience. And I remember saying that in counselling, and she was like, you don't have to be grateful for the experience. Like, you don't, like, you can be, like, annoyed at it. And I was just like, I mean, there have been, like, moments, probably more so when I was, like, going through it, and, like, I was like, why is this happening to me? And, like, what? Like, I think it's just a weird, you don't really know what to think and what to be grateful for. And but I do think I wouldn't be the same person.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I imagine during that period you grew up very fast as well.
And I was hanging around a lot of adults because obviously nurses, doctors, a lot of like, I guess like my mum and dad's friends would always pop in and like check on them, check on me, and like I'd have a lot of adult conversations. And and then when I went back to school, it was like, okay, this is like everyone's between 17 and 18. I can be normal.
So that's should we so what happened at end of treatment? What we got to radiotherapy.
Yeah.
Was that the last of your treatment?
Yes.
And then was it like you are cancer free, or was there...
So I got my all clear because you have, I want to say, MRI scans maybe every 3 months. And then they were like, we do need to give you a chemo tablet for a year for maintenance. So all the big treatment was my first year of sixth form. Then they said, I think it was around like May, June time, we'll start you on a chemo tablet for a year. And then every 3 Fridays of the month, you have to come here and have a 20-minute intravenous chemo.
Right, okay. That's still really intrusive, isn't it?
Yeah, so every 3 Fridays out of the month I had off to go up there. Spent the day there, come back. Because it's not just like they just plug you in and then it's you have to check your blood so like correct and like you're fit enough to have it and things like that. There was a lot of times where I had to have like a couple of blood transfusions before because my platelets were low or whatever.
Can't be ill as well.
Exactly,
right?
So it was still very like a big upheaval of like that. So I guess like for a good 2 or 3 years, it was like that. And you couldn't plan anything either. I
was going to say you wouldn't say that was back to normal on any level, would you? That's still in treatment.
Yeah, they swapped my Hickman line for a portacath.
What is a portacath, sorry?
So it's basically what they described to me was like kind of like a wine bottle like cork that they put under your skin.
Okay.
That's attached to your like central line artery. Whatever.
Okay.
Which is where they do the Hickman line or the PICC line, I think. But it meant that when they accessed me, it was just like a quick needle with a...
You saying accessed me just
I know
was just such a
that's exactly
it's so weird.
how
you get so normal, isn't it?
And like, I remember sometimes the nurse would have to come to school to check my bloods.
Oh wow.
And I'd be like, you're not coming at me without any numbing cream. So I used to get them to give me numbing cream. And I remember still to this day in the toilets in sixth form, like it was here and it stuck out so much. But it was better than the Hickman line because obviously there was nothing sort of coming out of my body
where external.
where I had to like protect it. And I remember I wouldn't have the needle without any numbing cream still, and my friend had to like put all the numbing cream on and like patch me up and stuff, and then I'd wait for an hour until she came, like the nurse came to school, and I'd just be like, this is just my life. I'm literally in my bag, I've got notebook,
your mates are vaping in the
literally, and I'm like, I need some is it Emna cream and plasters. I was like, what is so then what happened? So that was for about a year. I was allowed to dance again, because also, I guess like technicality, you have to be doing like a few lifts and like rolling around and stuff like that. And so when they put the port in, it also meant I could have a bath, like a deep bath, because when I had a Hickman line, you couldn't get the access wet.
But that's such a not sounds so novel, but that must have just been like to be able to lounge in a bath.
I used to have shallow baths and just lay there. It was the most awkward thing ever because I was just like, it's not really doing a lot. But I was
kind of cold as well.
I don't want to shower. I remember running the first bath and being like, this is great. So the portacath was in for a year. So I could dance. and be just a little bit more like mobile. So I was getting back to a new normal. And I say new normal because obviously nothing ever goes back to, what it was. And then, would have gone, second year of sixth form. I think I had I must have been had my 18th. Thought my hair would have grown back before my 18th.
I was about to ask, how was...
I think obviously I thought maybe I would have like a pixie cut. Not that I wanted that, but I think for my 18th, my hair was still about that long. So I had to wear the wig. I mean, I say I had to. I wanted to wear the wig.
What did you go for wig-wise? We always joked my mum should have got an afro, like something like big purple, like clown hair or something. We just like, she never went for it.
So I got my first one from Little Princess Trust.
Amazing charity.
Yes. The only thing, I can't remember what was wrong with it. There was something wrong with it. I don't know whether it fit properly. And probably because I put on so much weight, it then ended up being really tight because I had a fat head.
Right, yeah.
But I can't remember what was wrong with it. And then they were like, it's fine, we can take it back almost. And and then they sent me a couple of shops in London. I think one was called Trendco, which no idea if it's still there, but it's ingrained in my head. And they just got me sort of like a short, like brown layered.
Right.
I guess like sort of something that came across so it didn't look like a wig, because I don't think they did like a lace front wig then, which I think now are just a blessing because it just doesn't even look like, it's a wig. But it was definitely, I just wanted my hair back.
Well, it's just that it's reclaiming identity. Isn't it?
And like when it did grow back, I mean, completely straight. My hair was so curly before.
That's
so curly and wavy. Probably because I straightened it like a lot.
Right.
So I feel like it was probably maybe just it was nice fresh hair. So the wig, definitely avoid. Just but I was 16, 17, 18, and I wanted to go into school without people staring too much.
I think we all want to fit in. It's generally the consensus, isn't it? Those sort of ages.
And obviously for like my dance exams and stuff, I had to take it off. Yeah. Because it would just come off itself. And I think like all my like dance class, obviously that they were just very, very good and just didn't really look into it too much. And
that must have been empowering. Getting back to dance sounds like that was such an integral part of who you were. Yeah. And it's movement, isn't it?
Yes.
Something freeing, it's creative.
Endorphins and just to feel like I could move again. I mean, I was pretty much like sofa bound, and that was just my comfort for a while. But it felt really good to like get back into it. And then I had to take off the wig. I think that just got very normal for people. Just come in, get changed, whip it off. Yeah, we're like, right, let's go.
But again, that's empowering, isn't it? Because that starts normalizing it for you. Yeah, like, actually, I'm not standing out. This is just me. Yeah, which is lovely.
Yeah, and I think I'd rather that than it bloody falling off. And
it's not the choreography.
So everyone was very good at school.
And then you're like, what happened after school? Like, you just, you're out in the world navigating. You went to uni, you said? Yeah. What did you do at uni?
Dance fitness.
I'm seeing a theme of where we're going with.
Yeah, I just did not seem to. They were like, you sure you want to go? You don't want to take a gap here? I was like, nope, I'm fine.
Are you going to say in a minute that you maybe overstretched yourself slightly to overcompensate that you hadn't done stuff for a while? You're like, I'm diving right in, which I think is perfectly normal.
Yeah, but I didn't have the experience that like everyone like wrote about. I ended up living like out at uni. I went to a uni that was like 20-minute drive away from home, but I was like, I need this independence. Mum and dad have literally done everything for me. I need to like, and I did cook like here and there for myself, but I was like, I need like routine structure that's set around like my uni day and what I want to do and what food I want to do, a food shop and stuff like that. And they were like, you sure? I'll come back every weekend. And not to like bring my washing and stuff. It was just because I was so homesick. And like I'd gone from, living like 24/7, obviously with, and then like this massive like social anxiety kind of like I didn't want to drink really. Like I hadn't had a lot of experiences that other people had had before uni. I felt really uncomfortable about talking about that. And like just like my whole like social life, my friends at home are my comfort, and like my family, like I just did not. I don't think I don't think I don't, and I don't know if it would have been any different even if I went a year on. I just don't think the uni life was for me. And there would be like nights out and stuff, and everyone that I lived with like were fine. And then obviously more understanding like once I got closer to them and like sort of explained like things, and they were like, okay. But I just wasn't on that like really wild kind of like uni.
But you've been to, but you're,
No, I
you
know,
you've been through something so huge that no one else has been, and like, and you have missed out on those bonding things as well. Where, like you say, loads of things that they talking about they're doing. You're like, well, I haven't.
And just like relationships as well. Like it obviously it hadn't happened for me yet. So like, I think it was just very, very new and like, just filled with anxiety, and I was just uncomfortable.
It sounds understandably overwhelming.
Yeah. It was just a lot. So I would come home a lot. It did get easier. But second and third year I ended up coming home.
Has that shaped your life moving forward? Like how you've navigated as well with, we could talk about what you do now and why you do that. And is that, you're obviously working fitness studio.
Yeah. I think I just know what fitness does for me. And I don't get me wrong, like I'm not like, it is a lifestyle. It's not like oh my God, you have to be doing this every day and whatnot. Like, but it's just, I have the ability to move my body. So why would I not take it? Because I think probably after not sitting around, but being on the sofa or in bed for like 2 years, like, I just never want to like be like that again. And I think it does come with like, I think I've only just realised now that I need rest days and things like that. And like days where like I'm not working and I'm not doing like the next thing. But I think that kind of sitting around watching Jeremy Kyle and then this morning and then Loose Women like all day.
Can't believe Jeremy Kyle got a shout out.
I know. I know.
Thanks for that.
But like just all of those, like just not doing anything really and resting. I was like, never again. Like I need to make up for lost time.
But that's not actually that sustainable over a long term, is it?
God no, multiple times I've felt that. But so like I think the fitness side of things, it's like I know what it does for me, so I'm like I want to like educate people on that for them. Because I mean I like get clients all the time like I really didn't want to come today and I feel so much better.
Yes.
Tick, done my job.
Absolutely.
So I think I didn't know whether I wanted to go into dance, but I feel like I finally realised that maybe dance was a hobby for me, and just like you said, a creative kind of expression and things like that, and just a different movement. But the fitness side, I was very interested obviously in like the body and things like that. Obviously my body's just been through so much. So I think the fitness side, it's just always been something that I've just gone for, and it's just made sense to me.
Sounds like a empowering reclaiming that part of yourself after it's been like,
so I feel like that's probably
so
the
much
part that I've taken, because like I said, you kind of grieve that old normal. But yeah, I'd say the fitness side of things and like staying active has been the only bit that I've brought with me. Because yeah, after like the steroids and putting on weight, I was like, right, I'm gonna make myself a workout plan.
Love it.
I think me and my sister did like I think it was like a 100-day squat challenge thing. I don't know where that came from.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, no, I feel like it was like a trending thing for ages, and like we printed it out and like would like try and do like as many squats as we could a day.
Nice.
Yeah, so I learned a lot from that as well.
Yeah.
What not to do.
Yeah, 100 squats a day.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's always kind of been a part of routine.
Yeah, amazing. Is there any organisations or anyone you want to shout? I know we've talked about Marsden, Teenage Cancer Trust, Little Princess Trust. Is there anyone else that supported you through that journey, or anyone you found since that?
My local hospital, I did go to like a specific like cancer kind of counsellor, and I think that was under Macmillan. Yeah, and there's another Daisy something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's all like fertility.
Okay.
That's obviously something now where I don't have either of my ovaries, because also, forgot this part, but I'll brush off quickly. They found another mass.
Right.
Maybe when I was like 21, 22. But ended up being a cyst. But it was attached to the left ovary.
God, that must have been terrifying for you.
They were just like, we've just taken it. Because you don't need any more scares. If this is like a thing, we're going to have to, we should take it. So they took the left ovary. So I don't have my ovaries, have everything else, as far as I can remember. So I think there, I don't know whether it was called like daisy chain something, but it's all about like fertility and like the difficulties with fertility, and whether it's come from like a cancer or just unfortunately some people can't have children. I will find out the name.
Yeah, we can add that in.
Because they
into
did send it to me, because I have like yearly fertility appointments, just to touch base on where I'm at with like medication and HRT.
But these long-term effects that we have, we could talk about all day. For that fertility again, that grief, of futures that not possible now, and that scare must have been.
I think it's easier now than it would have been if, like, I don't know, I would have been able to have kids like back in the day, I guess, because it's not. I think I'm realizing it's not everyone's pathway. And I still don't know if it's mine yet. And I think I'm in battle with it every day, really. And I think like a part of me sometimes is like, I just don't want to do anything more like mess with anything more. But then one day it might be something that I'm like, I'm ready. But yeah, the hospital are very good. I now see UCLH for their fertility and late effects cancer clinic. So they have a plan if I did want to.
That's brilliant.
And it would just be a case of, it would always have to be an egg donor, because I don't have my eggs and I couldn't freeze my eggs because I was so. I think I went to an appointment just after my first chemo, and they had a conversation with me, and they said, because you've got sort of chemo that's mopping up sort of cells, the procedure that we would do to collect your eggs could possibly move those cells and move them to different parts. It's too much of a risk. So I was like, okay. And then
hella big life choices to make, aren't they?
And then any eggs that I would have had probably would have been kind of shot down from radio. Yeah. So it would be an egg donor. And then pump me full of hormones to see if like my body could carry. And that's as far as I know for the plan.
Wow. But these are the long-term effects. That, this is something that happened to you well over a decade ago, and it's still, I think the thing to be mindful of is it is an everyday thing.
Yeah.
You're reminded of this every
Yeah,
single
it doesn't
day. It
really
doesn't go away.
stop. Yeah, because obviously these things are still happening, and even I guess even with COVID, like I said,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, you don't have half your spleen, so you might be more at risk. I was like, oh, all right then.
Just extra things to throw in during a pandemic.
Thank you.
Christ.
But yeah.
We could talk all day, and
Yes,
I would
yes,
absolutely
yes.
love to. But unfortunately, we only have the podcast for a certain amount of time. Studio. But where can people find you, Aimee? I want to make sure that people know where they can find you and talk to you if they want to. Or
yeah, Instagram, I'd say. My Instagram is, I'm trying to think of it. So
I've got it here.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, so it'll be the Aim Fit Studio. Or I've now created a new one, which is more of like my personal page. So it'll be Aimee _, I think. But yeah, I think Instagram's probably the main.
Instagram's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've got like my blog on there and things like that, kind of just everything that we've said.
Brilliant.
But yeah.
Well, thank you. What we do with every guest before we go is get them to answer 5 quick fire questions, which you haven't had in advance. So this is going to be just straight off the bat. So I'll shoot through them. What advice would you give to someone who's worried they might have cancer?
Oh, definitely go and check it out. And yeah, straight away. Don't Google. Don't Google anything. Just go straight to the doctors and just be persistent with it, because might not be as lucky to get straight through to A&E and
Absolutely. Don't Google, see a GP.
Yes.
Love that. What was the most impactful thing someone did for you after your diagnosis?
I think just like my friends coming to visit, because I also can't imagine what it was like for them to see me sitting in a hospital bed bald. I do remember one of my friends coming to visit at home, and it was the first time she saw me with no hair, and she just burst into tears, and she's like, I don't know why I'm crying, like you. And I was like, it's fine. So I would say the visits, and it's just quality time. I can't pinpoint one, because I do feel like I have the best friends ever, and they're still my friends from back then. So we're but yeah, I'd say just visits and quality time.
Yeah, love it. Showing up, isn't it? It's just being there. What was the worst thing someone said to you about having cancer?
Maybe not the worst thing, like someone said. Maybe assumption, because I had a disabled badge. I remember my mum literally going off at an old lady because she was like, I can't get a disabled badge, you're fine. I mean, it's probably a compliment because I looked healthy, apparently.
That's a positive spin.
But I guess just the assumption is the worst thing, that like not everything is, I mean, I'm wearing a wig, like, but you also don't know that I've just come back from chemo. So maybe not the worst thing anyone ever said to me. But yeah, I just remember that vividly in a car park, she shouting across, I can't get a disabled badge, and there's you, how old are you? And I was like, my mum literally screamed across the car park that I had cancer, and she's certainly shut up.
I imagine that was quite cathartic for your mum, releasing some anger. Go Mama Bear.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone recently diagnosed with cancer?
Like find just like support system. Yeah, I think, and like understand that I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's the hardest question, because we're silent. I don't know. I think, find your support system, because that is going to be what carries you through. And you're going to have some really shit days, but you will have better days, and you kind of just got to hold on to those better days. It might sound a little bit cliche as well, but like hold on to the laughter. I feel like it's not funny, but sometimes bringing a little bit light to it can make you feel a bit better. Yeah, that was a hard one.
We don't make them easy.
Yeah.
I think it was a good answer, though. Lastly, this is my favourite one, I have to admit. What's the biggest lesson you've learned after having cancer?
The little things don't matter. Yeah, I would say that's... And don't get me wrong, like, there are still little things that I do worry about. But I think if I am worrying about them, I try very, very hard to be like, look how far you've come. You have your health, you have a roof over your head, like, you've got people around you. I think, yeah, the little things don't matter. Yeah, that's all I got.
I think that's all it needs to be. And I think you said something there, which is a lovely way to sum up the podcast, which is look how far you've come.
Yeah.
And I hope you occasionally get a chance to look back at that and, you know, what you do now professionally as well, what your body can do.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing testament to everything you've been through. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your story for the first time with us. I always think it's brilliant when we leave an episode and we could have talked for another 2 or 3 hours. So we're like, we got more episodes down the line. But thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you to your sister, who podcast listeners don't know is here, but she's the moral support in the other room. So really appreciate you both being here. Thank you for listening, and thank you to our amazing supporters and funders who make this podcast happen. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a review and follow us on social media at Thrive Against Cancer. And be sure to check out our other episodes wherever you listen to your podcasts and on YouTube. If you want to help support our mission to give a voice to the cancer community, please contact us or visit our website to learn more at thriveagainstcancer.co.uk.